line, screaming like a siren at night. Red and blue shouting, nobody's right. Smoke in the streets, truth under attack. Everybody's loud, nobody's got facts. Feeds keep scrolling, nerves stay tight. Matchsticks flicked in the dead of night. They sell fear, cheap package the lies, while the clock keeps ticking, empires on fire. Can't sit quiet while the world's on edge. Lines in the sand, standing on the ledge. No script, no leash, no polish, quiet. Just a voice in the dark and a spark to the wire. This is and I'll bring the fire. Gonna light it higher. No filter, no fear, I say it raw. Strike the match, let it burn through the fog. This is and I'll bring the fire. And I'll bring the fire. Everybody's selling truth like a brand, buying opinions they don't understand. Talking in circles, screaming online. Keyboard courage, borrowed spines. Yeah, power plays dressed up as peace. Same old wolves with different teeth. But silence is loud when the house is burning. And the fuse is short, yeah, it's still learning. I don't dance for the left or the right. I stand in the heat, I stand in the fight. No strings, no chains, no manufactured choir. Just gasoline thoughts and an open lighter. This is and I'll bring the fire. Gonna light it higher. No filter, no fear, I say it raw. Strike the match, let it burn through the fog. This is and I'll bring the fire. And I'll bring the fire. The world's on tilt, pressure climbing. Truth don't whisper, it's perfect timing. You can't cancel the smoke, you can't stop flame. Say my name when it hits, say my name. Why? Say my name. Say my name. Fire don't ask permission. Fire don't need a side. Fire just shows up honest and exposes the lie. This is and I'll bring the fire. Truth hits harder. Burn it down till what's real survives. No smoke, no mirrors, just heat and lies. And I'll bring the fire. And I'll bring the fire. American fire. Strike it. Let it speak.
Oh, what's up, guys? Happy late night show. We're doing it. I still made it. I know some of you were like, where is he? Where has he been? What's going on? Is there going to be a show tonight? Yeah, I still made it. I still made it. I don't sleep. What is sleep? What is that? No, man, we got too much to talk about. So family stuff going on tonight. Not, it was all good, but still here. So we got a lot to talk about as usual, per usual. But obviously the possible end of the Iran war. Trump seems to have finally got them on the ropes. Even got China coming now and saying, you guys end this, which is very interesting. Arrests are ramping up. We have the Democrats getting raided in Virginia by the FBI. Whew, not a good look. And along with that, a big news on deportations ramping up, which is very much against the whole PSYOP media narrative that they've been taken down. And then, of course, we got more on the midterms, which it's all trending in the right direction. But we're going to have some fun tonight with the Tucker Carlson Thomas Massie interview. Oh, man, they went for it. They went for it. So we're going to break down some of the highlights from that and totally expose how fraudulent these two men are in this interview. And so, we got to do it. We got to show them. So anyways, but first, before we get started, guys, please hit that like, that subscribe, even you sleepyheads out there, chilling with me here at midnight nearly on the East Coast. But hit the like, hit the subscribe, and let me say, hey, to some of the beautiful people in the chat, and then we'll get moving. Armand Oliphant, what's up, brother? Big B, Wago, Waco, US1 Tahoe, J Tyrus, Jen Maga, Cass Sink, Raja Fishes, sleeping with the fishes. Big B, Kim Wiley, Nick Majors, Big Event Lounge, Kim, what's that say? Kim Trump. Hey, I like that one. That's a new one. I haven't seen it. Seth Linnerode, Alice Fordham, I think I already said that. Seagrooms, what's going on, brother? GN358. Action Not Words, Tammy Anderson, Stella Artois. What's up, man? It's been a bit. MSN Tango, Rum Dog. We have Stagehand, Okie Sooner, a new member. Welcome. Well, I see a few new members. That's awesome. Bobby Girl says, I can't believe I'm up this late, but I love this channel. Oh, well, we both have the late night problem. I can't not stream, and you can't avoid watching, so I appreciate the support. I'm glad somebody's here to watch. Sebastian Chose, what's going on? Blue Collar Point of View, Stoppy, Matthew Parker, what's up, brother? We got Lochtefeld, Sheath, I Love Music, C. Griffin, all holding it down on Rumble. Welcome to the show, guys. All right, as usual, you guys know the rules. You know the game. Chat is where it's at. Community, love the community. I will get in between segments, answer your questions to the best of my ability. If you absolutely got something, you just got to get out there and you don't want me to miss it, the best way to do it is a super chat. Otherwise, it could get lost, but I still do my best to try and find those questions and comments. Don't be a dick. That's the rule of the chat. Be nice, be respectful, be honorable, and anything goes if you're those two things. Otherwise, the mods will see you out the door. This is a no troll station in here because the community actually matters on my show, unlike so many others. So, but hit that like, hit that subscribe. Please feel free to be a part of the community. And as always, I'll do my best to check in between segments. All right, I want to start tonight with this. Well, let's talk about Kash Patel and justice. So last night I went through this interview with Hannity and Kash, and I gotta say I missed a part, and I gotta play this now. Please excuse this horrible recording, but the sound isn't bad. But watch what Kash says and does right here. This is interesting to me.
Go this deep in the weeds as we did. So we can start with Hillary Clinton. Top secret classified information on her servers, which, by the way, I keep hearing rumors, maybe you can confirm this, that information may still exist and we may have a copy. Any truth to that?
We're working on a lot of things.
You're smiling. I don't know. I like that smile. The smile is very revealing, Kash. All right. We'll save that.
Let's back that up for a second and do that again real quick. Watch the smile after this question.
Still exist, and we may have a copy. Any truth to that?
We're working on a lot of things.
You're smiling.
Look
I don't
at
know.
that
I like
smile, that knowing smile. Now, Kash, as I was going through the interview the other day, he was very serious and to the point on everything, breaking it down. I mean, we talked about how earnest he seems. But that, my friends, I don't know if I've ever seen Kash Patel light up like that before, talking about the Clinton server and what they got on it, and he couldn't go into it. But that, my friends, if that's not a knowing smile, I don't know what is. And so we get this interview, which if you guys missed my coverage on it before, go back and watch. It's an incredible interview. All kinds of insights to what's going on with the Trump team's plan for justice and accountability and what's going on at the FBI. Well, after this interview, today we get this. And this, my friends, is a shockwave in the political world.
Now, a very influential Democrat from Virginia, State Senator Luis Lucas, is at the center of a major FBI corruption investigation. Right now, in fact, agents are executing search warrants across the Commonwealth, including her office. Alex Hogan is in Portsmouth, Virginia. Alex.
Hi, Harry. Chris, so the FBI here telling us today that these are court-authorized criminal search warrants that they are issuing. They're going into the building behind me. This is the office here in Portsmouth of State Senator Louise Lucas. You can likely see some of the FBI agents behind me. All of the staffers inside this building were told to come outside. I could hear them saying that they were not allowed back in the building. Throughout the last hour, we've been seeing the FBI come and go carrying boxes out of the building. Now, just across the parking lot next to where I am, there is a cannabis dispensary. We know that the state senator is associated with several cannabis locations and dispensaries. And what we're seeing there, a completely different scene carrying out. SWAT teams arrived with their weapons drawn, telling anyone in the building to come out of the building with their hands up. We also saw at least 3 people being taken away, taken into custody. First, they were put in handcuffs, put on the ground, and then they were taken away. So it's a slightly less large presence than we did see earlier, but they're
So Democrats, corrupt Democrats, major leaders in their party in the state, this is in Virginia, right under Spamberger, busted for corruption and having the House raided. Friends, this is how it starts. I got to tell you, you got to know what you're looking for. You got to know what you're looking for. This is the beginning. We've already seen SPLC, but I'm telling you, we're in the beginning phases, and now we're getting the targeted people. They start small, but it will continue to work its way up. This, my friends, is a nuclear bomb in DC. This is what we've been waiting for. Get ready, because it's only going to ramp up. Now, what's hilarious about this, she was a president pro tempore of the Virginia Senate, so you know, Louise Lucas. But, this woman hates Trump, as you can see from 3 years ago. Trump just learned no one's above the law. Now she's the one getting her house raided. But, kind of gotta love that. But think about Cash sitting there in that interview with Hannity, getting asked about, AR answered all kinds of questions, talked about their investigations been building up, how they're rebuilding the FBI. Fascinating stuff. All the kind of stuff we said is most likely what they're doing. And then, we're working on stuff with a big smile. And now we see this. This is, again, SPLC going after corrupt Democrats. I mean, there'll probably be Republicans that get busted too. But guys, if you've been worried about the arrests and justice, I don't know what else to tell you. The momentum has started. It is moving. Months and months of investigation and getting the Justice Department keyed up, and now it's go time. They're not waiting anymore. They've got this other massive story today. FBI Boston investigation resulted in charges against 30 individuals for roles in global insider trading scheme. Oh, Trump doesn't do anything for the markets. He's not fixing the markets. I'm so sick of this stuff. I'm so sick of hearing all the crying. It's happening. It's happening. They just didn't want to be like the morons in the Biden administration who went arrest people and then don't have anything on them. And so, there was corruption. They put them away, but on appeal gets overturned. You get these Democrat crazy liberal justices and judges in DC area. You don't have a perfect case. It's going to get thrown out. It takes time to do it right. Well, you guys are finally going to see the fruits of patience, which the black pill bros didn't have. Again, we're starting to see it. FBI executed arrests in Alabama, California, Florida, New Jersey, and New York today for individuals accused of capitalizing on confidential information stolen from leading corporate law firms advising on mergers, acquisitions in Massachusetts and elsewhere. 2 subjects located in Israel and Russia as well are actively being sought. This is big time. This is big time. And it's just the beginning. Just the beginning. On top of this, we're about to have the UFO files being delivered for release. So, if you're not having enough fun with arrests, we might get some interplanetary arrests as well. But obviously, they're very busy over there. Now, with all those arrests taking place, another aspect of justice in our country is taking care of the illegal immigration. And the big narrative lately has been they stopped doing the deportations. I even had some guy today on my channel coming at me being like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. You're an absolute idiot. Trump has only deported 300,000 people. Obama deported more than that. Oh, yeah? We're over 3 million have gone out of the country between deportations that have been active and then the self-deportations being pushed out. And not to mention the turnaway at the border, nobody's getting in. And when everybody always brings this up, they're like, Obama did more. You guys know that at the border, every time they turned somebody away, they marked it as a deportation. That's how Obama inflated his numbers. These aren't inflated numbers. This is actually happening. But ever since Minnesota, it's been, they're stopping the mass deportations. Oh my God, this is what they voted for. This is dumb. MAGA sucks. Trump's betraying us. Well, Mark Wayne Mullen has something to say to that.
We are not slowing down a bit. We're just pushing harder, but being a little bit more quiet about it. We're staying focused on all illegals without question. Just yesterday, we arrested over 1,900 individuals. We have over 60,000 individuals that are currently being detained, going through the process of being deported. Last week, we deported over 2,700, but we haven't missed a beat. We're still on track, pushing as hard as we can. We just are doing it in a different way by using local law enforcement to work with us. We are not slowing down a bit.
What did Tom Homan say the other day? You ain't seen nothing yet. They had to build up. They had to train all these new agents. They had to get it out of the headlines, do it a little bit smarter, but it's happening. In fact, you can see the numbers are up. We're over here now. It's increasing. 3,000 deportations a day over the last week. If accurate, this is more than double the peak daily average from January 2026, just 3 months ago. More than double the average. So again, listen, I just gotta, there's so many psyops now, and so many of them are just so easy to bat down. Like, come on, guys, you don't need me to show you this. This is something you can find out in 5 seconds. But it's crazy how many people are still willing to buy the slop. And we're going to cover that in Tucker Massie, because there's a lot of propaganda going on that in a following segment. But this is clearly working. So the arrests are ramping up, deportations ramping up. It's starting to look beautiful. Well, it's getting to the point where the Democrats, they must know what's coming, because they are doing some stupid stuff out in the open. Here's Jamila Prayapal basically admitting to treason. Listen to this.
In January, Trump issued an executive order threatening tariffs on any country supplying fuel to Cuba. This was this January, just a few months ago. And oil shipments from Venezuela, that's where Cuba had been getting its oil, were halted after the U.S. operations to kidnap Nicolas Maduro. Since January, only one Russian tanker of oil has made it to Cuba. In fact, it landed just a couple of days before I landed.
This is crazy.
And one tanker has enough oil basically for 10 to 14 days of Cuba's oil needs. So it's a very limited amount of time. Now, Russia has said they're going to send another tanker. I was in conversations with the ambassadors from Mexico and some other places, and I know other countries in Latin America are trying to figure out how to get oil there. But it is a crisis.
You hear what she's saying? She's working with other countries to break our sanctions on Cuba. President Trump's sanctions on Cuba, the oil blockade that they're blocking off from Cuba to basically let Cuba fall so we can fix that situation lickety split real easy. This woman is working with other countries against our federal government, against our executive branch, our president. Guys, that's treason. Sedition is from within. Treason's when you work with another country to undercut stuff. That's wild. And here she is just boldly saying it in front of everybody. Now, you can look at it one of two ways. A, she's not scared. Or B, they have no other choice now. They just have to be out in the open because things are progressing so quickly. I think it's more towards the latter. But this is absolutely wild. We'll listen to just a little bit more of what she says here because it's crazy.
This is beyond imagination. Just this past Friday on May 1st, Trump signed a broad executive order that widens sanctions and allows for new penalties similar to what we have for Iran and Russia against foreign banks and firms that are dealing with Cuba. And it also reinforces the ban on U.S. tourism. I have called these sanctions an economic bombing of the infrastructure of Cuba.
Which you're allowed to do when you're the president of the United States and you deem another country a threat. You're completely allowed to do that. This is crazy. So this goes against the Logan Act, and then yes, they could probably push it even more to treason if they wanted to. But this is FAFO. Okay, this is one of those deals. This is going around Twitter, around X. Everybody's sharing it, and this is one of those deals where like, oh, the Trump administration is going to be pissed about this, and so it's going to be very interesting how they handle it. But there's talks of investigation Ilhan Omar to get her out of there, maybe even deported. And I guarantee you this is going to ramp up as well. And amidst all this, while all this is going on, Kash Patel talking to Hannity, arrests ramping up, SPLC being exposed, Obama had to show his head, which tells me they're really scared because every time they're losing, every time they feel like they're being pushed back, that's the only time they can drag him out of his house in the Hamptons, get him out of Martha's Vineyard, out of living his life of luxury. The only time they're ever able to get him out is when they're like, listen, man, we need you to go out there because we're getting our butts kicked. And Obama did an interview and listen to how he's trying to, I mean, this is desperation talk, but it's a reframing and it's a deflection of what they did. Just listen. You mean like Biden did to Merrick Garland and then to Jack Smith? You mean exactly what you guys did to Trump? You mean how you weaponized your attorney general? Eric Holder said, I'm his right-hand guy. I'm Obama's right-hand guy. How you weaponized the intelligence agencies against Trump in the 2016 election? We shouldn't be doing that, huh? You see this? This is deflection. He's trying to get ahead of stuff. He knows what's coming with Tulsi.
Right, because technically it's under the executive
of course,
branch.
Colbert is the one interviewing him too. Just these people. We can't overcome politicalization of the justice system. Oh my God. The hubris. It's gobsmacking. What do you even say? These people, they literally think you're stupid. They look down on every single one of you. They look out into the crowd and they just think, what a bunch of retards, but at least they worship me as God. That's what Obama thinks. For those words to come out of his mouth after what we've experienced over the last 20 years, mostly under him and under his understudy, Joe Biden, I wish I had a thing in my ear and I could just say, hey, Joe, why don't you do this? Which was literally in an interview Obama talked about basically Obama's third term, the Biden term, Biden. Just absolutely insane to hear this coming from him. But again, why do they drag him out now? What I showed you guys the other night, Barack Obama and Michelle are starting to have issues in their marriage because of all the turmoil going on. That's because they don't want to get involved. And Barry here feels the press. He's like, I have to go. And Michelle's like, I don't want anything to do with this anymore. I don't want to be political anymore. I just want to live this good life that, we stole all this money from people. We became multimillionaires thanks to The Office. And we're still celebrities in Hollywood and everybody worships us. Every liberal worships us. I just want to live that good life. And he needs to get back in the ring because they're losing. It's devastating for them. They know it's coming, and this is exactly why he brought up this exact subject. He brought it up because this guy is smiling. This guy's smiling as he knows they got him, and it's coming. We'll listen, catch one more time.
That information may still exist, and we may have a copy. Any truth to that?
We're working on a lot of things.
You're smiling.
Justice is coming, folks. Justice is coming, and they're scared to death because they know it. They know it's coming for them. All right. First segment, a little short for tonight, but that's okay. I got a long segment coming up with Tucker and Massie, so we'll hold you guys over on that one. But let me get into the chat for now. Say hey to everybody. Looks like I got a super chat. Let me check on that real quick. Let's see. $20 from Free Ness. Thank you so much for the support of the channel. Very generous of you. She says, Ace, can you help California out? Trump endorsed the UK guy Hilton, but he's technically from Hungary. Moved to UK as a kid. I was all about Sheriff Bianco until Trump gave Hilton the blessing advice. My advice is this, and thank you again for the donation. That's very, very generous. Listen, Hilton is, I actually think Hilton's a better candidate than Bianco. There are certain things about Bianco I don't like, but, I think he'd be decent for, especially for California. Don't get me wrong. But Hilton understands, I think, the actual problems of California a little better overall. The other thing I'd say is that Trump, he knows. He always knows. There's stuff in people's past. There's stuff that they've hidden. He just knows. And it was very interesting to me because Hilton and Bianco were the top two for a while in your guys' polling, right? And listen, I'm a California boy. I grew up in California. I hope it someday comes back. I haven't been there, and I haven't lived there in 12 years, but I grew up in California, spent most of my young adult life there. I love California. So I hope it's saved. I obviously want it to be. But Hilton and Bianco were the top two in this weird primary system California has, and they could have been pitted against each other, pretty much guaranteeing a Republican governor. Very interesting. Trump chose to endorse during that, and I found that really interesting when he did it. I just felt it very interesting. So it told me that for some reason Trump wanted Bianco completely out, and I don't know all the reasons. Trump obviously has a lot more data and intel than any of us do. But, in the last decade, I've learned that Trump has the best political instincts of anybody I've ever seen. He is the best. And so when he does something like that, I'm like, I might not even understand this or agree with it in the moment, but I'm going to trust the guy who's gotten us this far. I'm going to trust the guy who made this move. Having said that, I know it realized it took kind of the wind out of the sails of some Republicans who thought they might have a shot. I'll tell you right now, I don't think there's any way they would have let both those guys get through. And so one of the reasons Trump might actually see hope that if there's a coalescing behind Hilton, that maybe he can put up a fight. The Democratic field is weak in the California governorship. It's really weak. So if any, and Newsom's extremely unpopular. So if there's any chance at all that the Republicans can overcome the machine of the Democrats in California, which is the most rigged, terrible, just deeply embedded state with Democrats and of anywhere. They have completely rigged that entire state. I know because being there so many years, I know California is actually probably, you could argue, it might even be 51% red. But the liberals have embedded themselves so much in their systems and through the corruption in the state. So there's just no way they were going to let two run. If Hilton can somehow get like 60% of the vote, 55% of the vote, he might actually be able to overcome their cheating with, especially with some of those things Trump's putting into motion. So all that to say, I just trust that Trump saw at least a shot with Hilton and wanted to get Bianco out. And so that's the only thing I can say for sure. All right. Christina Abbott with the $7 donation says, always can count on you for fresh air. Thank you, Christina. I love it. And I appreciate you up in Canada up there, our neighbor. We're praying for you guys because it's even worse than California up there. It's terrible. So, anyways, it would be cool if they'd both won the primaries and it was like Republican, but yeah, Bianco, like there is good stuff about Bianco. Don't get me wrong, but he did bend the knee during BLM, and he also had some I believe it was him. He had some interesting ideas on immigration that were borderline amnesty. So that's all I really know about him, but I'm just so far removed from a governor's race over there right now. I've been so focused on big national stuff. I hate City of London. I do too. But they say, how can Hilton be trusted? Is he now not in favor of green energy? Well, okay. Listen, a Republican in California right now is going to be liberal. They're going to be like center right, but barely right, just center. That is a Republican in California right now in California politics. So will Hilton be MAGA? Hell no. So don't expect that. But California is such a mess right now. You have to get somebody in there who at least can stop the bleeding a little bit and start moving things just the other direction just a little bit. That's California. All right, listen, I lived there when Arnold from Austria, that was the terrible Austria, that was more British, Austria, there we go. And I was there when Arnold was there, and Arnold was not a MAGA Republican. Arnold is a center, like he would be a Democrat in like Kentucky, okay? But he's a Republican in California. That's how left the politics are in California. So Arnold ran like the most moderate Republican you've ever seen, but it was still better than what's happened in the last 20 years since Jerry Brown came back and Newsom and so on and so forth. So anyways, just letting you know, do not think of California politics as MAGA. Okay. Like there's a chance in hell that a MAGA person will get in there right now. No, right now you just need a Republican who will stop the bleeding and maybe start making corrections in the politics there, so that there's a chance for the rigging and the corruption to start being weeded out a little bit. And California is going to take a while. It's going to take a while to go red, but I actually believe California in about 15, 20 years could be a red state again. I really do. There's a lot of momentum there. The Republican Party is actually very strong in California. Not in power, but they're used to fighting hard with very little to work with. And so there's a lot of hope for California, but it's going to take election reform to get there because the corruption is so embedded. But the people of California, for the most part, are great. They are great people. It's actually, like I say, it's actually a red state. Do you guys remember, like most people don't remember this, but until the 2000s, California was Republican most of the time. In the 90s, Pete Wilson was a Republican. And Gray Davison came in. He got ousted. Arnold came in, was Republican. Ronald Reagan from California. I mean, California was super red state the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Started getting a little more liberal 80s and 90s, but still Republican a lot of the time. It's not that far away. It is not that far away. But the Democrats knew if they could control California, they could have so much power nationwide because of Hollywood and Silicon Valley. They knew that. And that's, California is not a communist place. It's the Sacramento is the politics in Sacramento is completely corrupted. The people of California, like 60% of the people of California feel like they're held hostage. LA, super liberal, and the Bay Area, super liberal, and then the coast is mostly liberal. But the center and north of California is very red, very red. So yeah, it's very possible. But you know, we got to pray for California. Do you guys realize, like, if we ever get California back, we're unstoppable. We might even be unstoppable for 20 years before California turns. But so think about it this way. You know, I've been talking about, and I'm gonna talk about more midterm momentum here in a minute. But you know, as I've been talking about elections a lot, and the trend of conservative MAGA in our country, and how we are looking at a structural shift that could lead to 20 plus years of running the country. If you get 20 plus years of America being red, and all the changes that will happen during that time, all the reform, especially with elections, so on and so forth, guys, that's when states that are like slightly bluish or purple, that's when they go full red. Colorado did that with blue. It went blue because of Obama. It used to be a very red state. States do flip more than you think. Florida was blue just 10, 15, no, it wasn't 10 years ago, but Obama won Florida. I think he won it twice. And now it's a crazy super red state. So these things change, and sometimes they change quicker than you think. We can absolutely get California back. It's just going to take a lot of prayer and a lot of work. And if the country trends red, we can get California back. And I'm telling you, California goes red, man. They are so screwed for even longer, because that's, you know, they controlled the narratives out of California. They control the narratives out of New York and California. That's just facts. So they can get them. They can get them. And Spencer Pratt's running an absolute killer campaign right now. He might get. He's a dark horse. He could absolutely pull off the LA win. He could. So people are so pissed off in California. There is a dark shot, there's a dark horse shot of Republicans winning. It's very low shot. Don't get me wrong. It's still going to be very difficult, but it's possible. It is possible. They just have to run basically perfect campaigns. So we'll see. We'll see. But it's weak candidates on the left right now, and the people of California are pissed. They're still feeling the hangover of COVID and the fires and all that stuff. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But listen, I grew up in California. I love California. I want it to come back. I couldn't live there right now. I'll tell you that. It's so bad. But just because I'm raising kids, I mean, I could not, with my beliefs and stuff and what they do with the kids out there and like the vaccines and all that, I just couldn't do it. But okay, let's go on to the next segment, and then I'll return to the chat. But I want to talk about midterm momentum. So yesterday we had a massive win in Indiana and Ohio, and Trump won like 20 of his endorsements to 1, lost 1. It was massive. It was a big stamp that just said MAGA owns the Republican Party, like it or not. We ain't going nowhere. And so Seth Keshel writes this: the Indiana primary is like a political enema. Get with the program or get out. I love it. Well, what happened afterwards, South Carolina now came out and it was like, oh yeah, we're going to redistrict. South Carolina's governor, who's a rhino, was thinking about postponing this until 2028. He wanted to, but then he saw the shockwave of last night, and now they're all caving. And it was a warning to all the rhinos out there. You play ball with Trump or you're out. And see, this is why it's still better to have rhinos than Democrats, because rhinos will play ball when they're scared, when they know they will lose elections in the primaries if they don't play along. So we have a bunch of rhinos, but we will get MAGA so long as we show we have strength. So South Carolina is getting ready to push redistricting. It's not through yet, hasn't happened yet, but the fact that they're actually moving forward with this is great. It's just another state on the docket. And Supreme Court today came out and dismissed the challenge to the ruling to try to get them to postpone another 35 days and rehear the case, which would have set back a lot of this redistricting for the midterms. The Supreme Court officially shot it down today. SCOTUS denied their motion to recall the judgment. Not even Jackson dissented on this one. It was such a weak petition. So Louisiana is definitely going to be pushed, and this also gives the Trump Justice Department now the backing to say that we will not they can basically say we're going to enforce this. It's the Supreme Court's the law. So it's going to get interesting, because if a state now doesn't redistrict, could the Trump administration say, oh, you're breaking the law, this election can't count? I don't know. It's very interesting what this opens up. But I'm telling you, Trump has a lot more tools in his belt ready for the elections, and people are giving him credit for. Everybody who thinks the Save America Act is the only way we can win this is wrong. We want that passed because we want it legislated. We want it law so that they actually have to fight to overturn it if they ever get power back. So of course we want it legislated. We want it. We want it officially legal in America, where it's not just something that can be overturned on another executive order. But Trump has a lot of options. These guys are so smart. We've seen them over and over again use the law to their advantage. So this sets up a lot of potential going forward for the midterms and how to deal with these elections. Fetterman just showing that he's getting closer and closer to being done with this party. Today calls out mob of pro-Hezbollah, Hamas shitheads raging against law enforcement, terrorizing the NYC Jewish community near a synagogue and daycare. Where's my party's condemnation? This is a man getting very frustrated with his side. Again, if he moves over, it's it's trouble. It's big trouble. That basically guarantees the Senate, which they don't even need it guaranteed right now, because already the odds are going forever in your favor towards Republicans for the Senate, now all the way back up to 57%, 10-point increase from the low in mid-April, which means the momentum the bettors are starting to notice as well. They're putting their money where it is. We hit our low, guys. I don't think we're going back. I really don't. I think the low was the head of the Iran war, when everybody was still confused, when all the influencers were just starting to all speak out and they still had followers. That was the low. And now we've been in the ceasefire time. Things are starting to pick back up. We're starting to see arrests. People love that. There's a lot of hope that this is going to end soon with Iran. People have had time now to marinate and sit on it a little bit and also be like, what is going on with all these fake MAGA influencer types? What are they even saying? What is going on here? They're starting to have questions, and they're starting to see the grift. And so it's starting to bounce back, and that's excellent for us. Excellent news for us. Also, here's a little clip right here, but Trump's approval is very strong with Republicans. So much for MAGA's dead, but listen to this. This from Laura tonight.
Matt, I think you and I have done this segment far too many times.
You think so?
Right? How many times have we done this? This is like insane at this point.
Over and over again.
Right. No, okay, so again, established, as you've pointed out, that the midterms are always tough for the party in power. They just always are. However, people will write off, of course, what happened in Indiana last night by saying, well, it was a primary election, state, Senate, House, doesn't really matter. What do you say to that claim?
Oh, goodness. I'm saying it again. Donald Trump is a force unequaled in the Republican Party. And let me just go to this point. There was about a month or so ago, I think we were talking about a month or so ago, you had a group of Republicans saying, oh, he's diminished, the war is killing him, it's taking his polling numbers away. His polling numbers among Republicans are the best they've ever been. They're at the height. He has as much power now. And by the way, he's an incumbent now. So when he makes these endorsements in these midterms, they're a lot more powerful than in 2022. So I think Trump is exactly what we've said for the last few months, and that is he's on target. He's still strong with Republicans. And might I add something about Obama? I polled 2008 for Politico. Okay? I know why Obama wants to have that old Republican Party. I know, because he crushed it. That's why. He doesn't want Donald Trump because they know Donald Trump's too tough to deal with.
I love that. I love that so much. I polled 2008. I remember the old Republican Party. There's a reason Obama wants it back, because they were pathetic and he crushed them. So good. Man, and just to say, nobody has suffered more their legacy from Trump than Obama. Obama left office, and I thought it was so crazy, but there were even Republicans who were like, it wasn't bad. It was the craziest thing. The psyop this man pulled on our nation was insane, and Democrats still worship him like he's a deity. But when Trump came in and in the first term basically undid 90% of what Obama accomplished, it was just the biggest middle finger to whatever, you're going to be a blip. And then they tried to double down with Biden. Obviously it didn't work. Trump now is sailing, and Obama just has his only legacy left is that there's still people who believe we're a racist country when we're not. I mean, we're still dealing with some of the cleanup, don't get me wrong, but policy wise, he's pretty much been wiped out. And now because of that, he's never going to go down as a great president, because he didn't create any lasting change, and that eats Obama up, and I love it. It's one of the greatest things Trump pulled off. So we're hearing that the pollsters are seeing MAGA Republicans are stronger behind Trump than ever. He's got a stronger hold on the base than ever, and then we got guys like Bill Mitchell up in D.C. saying rumors are Democratic Party's full-blown panic right now. They see all this momentum, man. Fundraising's disastrous and terrified Trump's going to end the war with Iran, and gas prices are going to plummet. Without high gas prices, Democrats have nothing to run on. And it's so true. We're starting to see the upticks in the economy. Once gas prices go down, everything else goes low. We'll start seeing cheaper food prices, you name it. And meanwhile, all the other inflation on everything else is stagnant now. Wages are starting to go up. Manufacturing is starting to increase. The trade deficit's down. All this corruption is going to start cleaning up a lot of our budget issues, which means we can actually get to the point where maybe healthcare is a little lower. Trump has fixed a lot of pharmaceutical prices with Trump RX. The man he's crushing it. And then we're going to get the dopamine hit of July 4th, 250th anniversary of our nation. So you get that, all that patriotism running through the nation, economy on the upswing, arrests happening, justice coming. I mean, it is a perfect storm the Democrats are looking at, and they're looking at the fact that they peaked in April. And now they're freaking out about it. I am so here for it. And Brian Cates shared this. Now go back to a few minutes ago when I was talking about the election and the Supreme Court options. And this is the kind of stuff that just, the midterms are not guaranteed. And let me speak to this real quick. I've been getting this a lot lately. I'll leave Bill up for a second. A lot of people, when I am talking about the midterms, because I'm hopeful and because I'm showing you guys the trends to counter the narrative that it's a blue wave no matter what, I keep getting messages of people angry at me saying I'm a retard, don't listen to me because I am a psyop to tell you not to vote, to say that it is I'm trying to convince everybody that it's going to be a red wave, so you stay home. Do you know how absolutely moronic that is? Everybody knows, you watch my show, I say go to vote. I say vote in the primaries. Vote, vote, vote. Get your butt up and do it, and we win. But I'm sorry. I'm somebody who believes that people are much more likely to be motivated by the opportunity to win than the opportunity to get your butt kicked. Sorry. Reward is a much more powerful motivator than fear. It just is. This is scientifically proven, like it or not. So, telling you the truth here, the fact that momentum is on our side is actually more motivating. Look what just happened in 2024. You know what I did in 2024, guys? I told everybody for a year why we were going to win in 2024. I had all the data, all the people who were here back when I only had 100 people watching my streams, 50 people watching my streams, all the people who watched me when my channel was nothing, will tell you that for a year I told them this is why we're going to win in 2024. And guess what? We shellacked them. So I'm telling you right now, I'm not calling that we're going to win the House. I am calling we're going to win the Senate. We show up, we win the Senate. The House, I think, is going to be very close. And I actually think that if the economy rebounds the way I think it could, we could actually gain in the House because it's already razor thin. If we show up, we'll win. And so absolutely vote. And if anybody tells you I'm saying don't vote, that is retarded. But I'm not going to lie to you guys and use fear as a motivator because unless I'm seeing it, I'm not going to say it. And we are very close to being the favorites in the House, and that's with everything not even going right with us. See, I mean, so just letting you guys know, like that's where we're at. Now, let's get to this because this is another little wrench thrown in that's very interesting. But he says it doesn't matter what the uniparty GOP does, what lawsuits it files or doesn't file, it doesn't matter. You realize the DOJ's job is to enforce constitutional rulings. Watch Todd Blanche and Harmeet do their jobs. Any election results garnered using the unconstitutional maps will be invalidated on their face. But they're not going to be allowed to hold and run another election using unconstitutional maps. This is the point people are missing. In other words, there's a lot of smart people believing that the Trump administration's already in position to force this redistricting and really increase Republicans' chances that much more. So at this point, guys, the only way the Democrats actually pull this off is if we're still stuck in Iran and if the economy just doesn't show up and gas prices are still, say, $3.50, $4. So it would be a malaise we're in because of Trump's policies not working as fast as we need them to. And that's perfectly possible. It doesn't mean he's not doing them. But just like Reagan in 84, so Reagan in 81 came in. He got a lot done. Deregulation, tax cuts, very similar to Trump. The economy took 2 years to turn around. Reagan's approval went down to 35%. He got shellacked in the midterms in 82. Turned it around, and in 84 won one of the greatest landslide wins ever. 49 states. Absolutely rocked it. So, again, sometimes the policies, we have a massive economy. They take a little while to turn around. But I think Trump moves so fast that if Iran gets solved here, which it's looking good. We're going to talk about here in a minute. If that all turns around, guys, we should be on the uptick by the midterms, and that, my friends, will lead to a Republican victory. Just watch. Watch and see. But right now, I'd say it's about 60% chance with all this redistricting that, especially if the Virginia map gets struck down. So, momentum's here, baby. Momentum's here. It's going well. We just got to finish the job. All right. Let's take a break. Get back into the chat here. Next, we're going to talk about Iran, and then we're going to talk about Tucker and Massie. Oh, having a little self pleasuring time together. Little, you know what they do. Gross. But anyways, let me make sure I'm all caught up here. I haven't seen anybody tag me, so I guess everybody's chilling. And that's good. That's all good. Was anybody mad at this segment? Did I bring out any of the people who were ticked off about me talking about midterms? Grifter report. Oh, Grifter report is coming. Don't worry. Trump said he's running for president of Venezuela. So good. Seth Linrode says, I'm not a Reagan fan. No fault divorce, giving citizenship to illegal. Listen, Reagan is a very mixed bag. He did some of the greatest things any president's ever done. And then he also did stuff like what you just mentioned. Plus, under him, vaccines companies were exempted from being held liable. So, yeah, there was a lot of stuff Reagan did that was bad. But he also defeated the Soviet Union. He also gave us the best economy we've seen in modern times since probably the 50s, maybe even since the 20s. So, you still got to give it up to him for what he did accomplish. And he made America proud to be Americans again, which is great. So Reagan is, I would say Reagan is he was 70% awesome, 30% sucky. What do I think of Rich Barris? Rich Barris is a fraud. I mean, he still knows how to poll really well. Don't get me wrong. If Barris wants to use his powers for good, he knows how to poll well. And you can trust his polls when he's on his game. But right now, he is running a grift for the whole Steve Bannon network, and he's trying to blackpill everybody about the midterms. He's been doing it now for several months, him and his buddy Barnes. So I no longer trust Rich Barris at all. I think he's a fraud. But that doesn't mean he doesn't know what he's doing when he polls. He's still got skills. Oh, did I miss a super chat? Let me check. I don't want to. Oh, I missed two. My God. Oh, no, I already called out Christina. Thank you, Christina, again. Little Bigfoot overlanding with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Little Bigfoot. Says, Chad Bianco was asked to pray with BLM. He wasn't kneeling. Okay. Says he fixed up Riverside County where I live and he can fix California. Little Bigfoot, first of all, thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate it. And thank you for disagreeing with me honorably. And you know what? If you're right about that, I didn't know that. So I will look into that and make sure that I'm not spreading lies because I have not heard that before. And listen, if Bianco is what you say, then, you know, what I'll say this, he'd still be better than any Democrat, you know? So that's what matters the most right now for California. But as far as the BLM thing, I will correct that if I find that to be true. I'll look into it. Gerald Kramer says, what do I think about repealing 22nd Amendment so Trump can win again? I mean, it's not going to happen. There's just no way it's going to happen. But it'd be awesome. But there's just no way they're going to repeal that. Do you know how hard it is to repeal a constitutional amendment? We haven't had a new constitutional amendment since 1992. It's extremely difficult to do in a polarized environment. Because you have to have 35 of the states sign off on it, which we might be able to do that. But I also believe you have to have 66% of Congress vote for it. So I just don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. Starchell says the only pollster I like is the one Ingram was talking to, and he made that Obama comment. There you go. I love it. Cass Inc., I know you're here, brother. Thank you. Seth Linderod says, did the girl who worked for Bannon leave, or what happened there? Does anybody know? I don't know. I haven't been watching Bannon in a while. So, yeah. Former Reagan gave kids great fun, safe memories in the 80s. 80s were great. So were the 90s, by the way. They were both great. But, yeah, I just don't think that – I don't think we're going to see an amendment in a while. Now, I will say that by the time we get into the next cycle, say after 2028, we have to win, which we will, but we have to. After that, we get to 2030 and the census, and the demographics shift so much in favor of MAGA that all of a sudden we could have a major House majority and a major Senate majority. We could have 57 Senate seats and like 250 to 275 in the House if it goes our way. So once you get there, yeah, we can start getting amendments passed again. And that's when things change for a long time. And it's only a matter of time. I mean, so it's been 34 years since the constitutional amendment was passed, and we've had so many amendments, 25, 27 in our history. So that, I mean, in 250 years, that's an average of every 10 years. So we're way overdue for a constitutional amendment at some point, or a repeal of one. So it's coming. It'll eventually happen. It's just a matter of time. But the country's not going to pull it off right now. Not in the era we're in. Okay. All right, let's get into Iran, and then we're going to get into Tucker Massie, because there's so much to say. All right. Trump in Iran. It is looking like we might be close, and maybe even closer than ever. Axios, which I don't trust overall as a paper, but they do get some of the best reporting from the White House, because they just have they actually have a connection with Trump that others don't. I don't know how to explain it, but they get scoops, and they tend to be more accurate than other papers a lot of the time. So Axios reports Washington and Tehran are closer to a deal than any point since the war began. Key elements: a phased rollback of U.S. and Iranian naval restrictions during negotiations. In other words, the Strait of Hormuz, they figure that out. Gradual sanctions relief from the U.S. alongside release of tens of billions in frozen Iranian funds, which I think Trump's all for, because he's going to want them to be able to rebuild infrastructure we took out. Long-term freeze on Iranian uranium enrichment, reportedly between 12 to 15 years with automatic extensions if Tehran violates the terms. Now, I want to speak to this for a second, because this does not give you all the details. The enrichment they're talking about right here, because some people are going to say, oh, it's not getting rid of their nuclear. Oh my God, this is no. The details are this. The freeze means complete enrichment. They can't do anything for 12 to 15 years. Trump wants 20. The other part is that if once this is over, they will be allowed to go up to 3% enrichment only. And that's so they can have nuclear power. So basically, it's you have to prove to us you can even obey this before we even think about letting you guys enrich for power alone at 3%, which you have to get up to like 90% for a weapon. And they were at 60%, which every chemist says that it's quicker to go from 60 to 90% than it is from 3 to 60. They'd already done the hard part. So that's right there. Also, Trump, right here, it says Iran potentially agreeing to remove its stockpile of enriched uranium from the country. So we'll grab it all. That's still part of the deal. And White House waiting for Iran's formal response on several core issues. So there's a lot more into this. But again, this is where you get the liberal spin on it from the Axios, okay? You get, like, it's probably, they are close, and I'm going to get into that in a minute here, but the details, they don't tell you all the details, and they want to make it look bad if they can. So we'll wait and see till we actually officially hear from Trump and or the White House, anybody in the White House, about the official details. I'm not going to trust the official details on that yet, but anyways, it is getting interesting. And Trump, knowing it's time to really put the pressure on, art of the deal, is called out today. Assuming Iran agrees to give what's been agreed to, which is perhaps a big assumption, the already legendary epic fury will be at an end, and the highly effective blockade will allow the Hormuz Strait to be open to all, including Iran. If they don't agree, the bombing starts, and it will be sadly at a much higher level and intensity than it was before. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So he just put them on blast. And the other thing is the Strait of Hormuz, which is not mentioned with Axios here, but it's believed that the Strait of Hormuz is a non-negotiable for Trump as well, that Iran can no longer run this. And that tells you not only is Trump opening up the strait so that we get free market basically with oil hitting the markets, but that also is the number one hit to City of London, because City of London loves having Iran down there because they get to manage all the shipping insurance, and they use Iran to help manipulate oil prices by controlling the strait. They lose control of the strait. That is the chokehold on the final chokehold on City of London. So it's been coming out that that's a non-negotiable as well. All right. These are the reasons I think we might actually finally be at the end here. Listen to Jesse talking about China tonight.
Actually helped move this thing along. They had no choice. For the first time since the war, Iran sent a delegation to Beijing. The Chi-Coms put them on a leash and told the mullahs to quit the Strait shenanigans and take the deal. A week before Trump meets Xi Jinping.
President Trump has put out publicly and privately messages to the Chinese. Do not help the Iranians right now. We're trying to isolate them. We're in a war with them. Do not help them out. So the Chinese are very cognizant of that. They don't want to upset President Trump before this big state visit. So yes, I think that these things are all connected.
Sources say the president wants to end the Iran war before his visit to China, and the Chinese do too. Their economy is starting to crack.
So,
and with the strait being choked, they're looking down the barrel of an energy crisis. Actually,
there's the end. So China, with Trump visiting next week, they want this finished because they want Trump in a good mood. And so they're we have reporting right now that China is talking to them in Iran and saying, get it done. We want this over. The other thing the Chinese want is they actually want Trump to show up. And if Iran's still going on, or we're in another bombing campaign, the idea of Trump showing up is probably not going to happen. China's itching to get a deal with Trump, to work out whatever they need to work out. Back in its World War III. Instead, it's the opposite. China is now, hey, let's talk to the U.S. and figure this out, and Iran chill. It's so wild how things are unfolding. Just things we never thought we'd see. Now, we have all U.S. Air Force transponders off now in the Persian Gulf. First time seeing this since the war began. So there's definitely something going on. Definitely something going on. Either they turn their transponders off, which I don't even know if they're allowed to do that, or which could be like sneak attack setup, or they're all parked. They've all landed. Very interesting to see these shifts real quick. John Conrad, who maritime shipping and Marines, works with the Marine, or did work with the Marines, says, to be clear, I have no information on or off the record. My gut says something may break soon around Hormuz. What has my attention is what sources are saying. It's which high-level sources have suddenly gone quiet. Sometimes silence is a signal. And it has gone really quiet. It's gone very quiet since yesterday when Trump ended the Project Freedom at the behest of Pakistan so that they could come to a complete and final agreement, was his exact words, I believe. It's been very quiet since then, which is interesting because it's never been quiet since the Iran war started, but it's definitely slowed down. Now, we have a report coming out of Iran. Iran's extremely furious with the UAE because of the bases, as claimed by Iranian Foreign Ministry statement, but due to liquidation of Iran's massive interests. The arrest and deportation of individuals who played a role in funding and managing essential and very large Iranian financial and commercial interests for the operations of the Iranian Garden State. Dubai was the economic lung through which Iran breathed and mitigated the impact of U.S. sanctions on it through unofficial relations with it. That is a wild statement. So by UAE breaking off of OPEC and now distancing themselves from Iran, they've basically just cut off another one of the financial arms of Iran. So again, the more we learn, the more we find out how Iran is just pinned between a rock and a hard place. Trump has completely cut them off. China was one of their other ones. I mean, it's amazing to see. Washington Post today, trying to make Trump look bad, post this. Iranian airstrikes damaged or destroyed at least 228 structures or pieces of equipment at U.S. military sites. You see how they had to say this? Structures or pieces of equipment? That could mean anything. That could mean a toilet broke. Says the amount of destruction far larger than previously reported. But then the people who actually know the military says, that's it. Common sense says war damages both sides even when one side's overwhelmingly winning. Victory doesn't mean immunity from damage. Absolutely right. It's just like when they were reporting $50 billion was spent. It's like, that's it. I think we're making more off the oil we've gained from Iran being cut off since then. And speaking of oil, let's go to that first. 121 empty oil tankers are now making their way to the USA. 68 can carry 2 million barrels each. We're literally the world's gas station now. China can send their ships to U.S. He's making China buy from us. I love it. Harris Faulkner reports 68 of 121 vessels are very large crude carriers capable of carrying 2 million. Trump has urged countries squeezed by Iran's disruption of Strait of Hormuz to turn to American energy supplies instead. And they're making their way over here. And here is our Gulf just full. I'm telling you, this has completely changed the world dynamic, and it's going to just give us so much more wealth going forward. And it's also sneakily brought us back closer to Russia. And look at this. We're setting records for fertilizer purchases from Russia. Russia was completely sanctioned not that long ago. And now look at this. We're funding them again. This is the beginning of what Trump wants to get to after the Ukraine-Russia war has ended, why he's been meeting with Putin, because he knows we can get deals with them on all these resources. In March, U.S. imported more than $240 million worth of Russian fertilizer, highest level in history of bilateral trade. For the quarter, the total reached $564 million, up 37% year on year. This is money that they can now use to get stronger and get a better position against Ukraine and probably get to the end of the Ukraine war. This is what's happening, guys. We've been watching them set up. Remember when they lifted the sanctions on Russian oil temporarily? It's all part of the plan. Russian fertilizers remain competitive due to cheap natural gas used in production, which keeps prices lower. Again, Trump wants the cheaper stuff. It's better for our economy. Sanctions have had an unexpected effect. New U.S. tariffs did not hit Russia, but affected its competitors, a.k.a. the EU and China, our enemies, tilting the market in Moscow's favor. Situation was further worsened by crisis in the Middle East. Disruption of Strait of Hormuz pushed many suppliers out of the market, sending fertilizer prices higher. Against this backdrop, we're forced to buy from Russia. I love it, forced to buy from Russia, but it's not forced. We want to. That's the dirty little secret. We want to start building back this alliance, and it's going to be so good for our country once we're able to trade regularly with Russia again. They have so many resources, and it's just the old days are over, guys. It's time to move forward. It's a new Russia, and we can have a new relationship with them. Trish with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Trish. As always, she doesn't comment or ask a question. So just thank you for supporting the channel, Trish, as always. Anyways, guys, this war is changing the world, and just wait till it's over. I think with what we've accomplished in Iran, when it's finished, the the reconstruction of oil, how we are now the exporter people are coming to, the relations we can build with Russia, the new leverage it's given Russia over Ukraine, the way we're going to basically hit up Cuba, fix that on the way out. We're looking at a whole new world order when it's done, and it's going to be very, very good for the U.S. So stuff to be excited about, and I think we're close. I really do. All right, let me take a break. Next is Tucker and Massie, the Grifter Report, and it's going to be fun tonight. Got some good ones. Tucker and Massie. Whew. I can't stand them. Let's see here. NATO's going to stop acting tough. I mean, they can't. We were NATO, and we don't want to be a part of this anymore. Let's see. Johnny Strayhorn says, it's obvious Trump studied all this his whole life. Freaking love my president. Amen to that. Love it. MFN says, everything presented to us now has been gamed out decades ago. Some's already happened, but just being shown to us. None of it's by chance. I agree with that. I really do. Brent Palkovich says, how about refining that God blessed oil in the U.S. and bringing our gasoline prices down? That's happening. They're working on that. Trust me, they're working on it. Trump is smart. It'll eventually happen. It will. Trump, I mean, the way I trust it is because I can see all the other things Trump is doing. He's not just doing quick fixes on anything. He's comprehensive. And that's why I trust that that'll happen here eventually. But even before we're refining more here, Brent, even before that, everything will open up and gas prices will get down 50s, maybe even the 40s by the end of the year once this Iran thing's over. We'll be having cheap gas again very soon. Let me see here. Bitcoin says NATO should not have expanded when Cold War ended. That was the deal. It shouldn't not only should it not have expanded, it should have been disbanded. There was no reason for us to keep it. We should have gone back to being our sovereign militias, our militaries. But anyways, whatever. So ridiculous. Do we think Trump will have a talk with Massie? No, his talk was, I'm getting you out of here. That's it. We're going to primary you and get you out. And I think he's going to lose. I really do. But, all right. All right, it's late, so let me get to this because this is a big segment, last big segment. Then we just got a couple quick hits, and we'll call it a night before tomorrow, where we'll do it all again. So, but let's get into this. Okay, Tucker Carlson and Thomas Massie, the FAGA Dream Team, the America First Dream Team, the fake betrayal influencer Dream Team. Did an interview today, and they are going for it. This is all out. Let's make Trump and MAGA look as bad as possible. Tucker posted, 13 days from now, Massie will prove whether or not pro-American politics are allowed in Trump's Republican Party. Can you see this? This was written by a pro marketer, because this is very good writing, but also a very big lie. Whether or not pro-American politics are allowed in Trump's American Party. In other words, is MAGA America first? That's what he's trying to communicate here. So he brings Massie on, and, well, this is how they go about it. Massie, the victim. This is how Massie wants to portray himself, and this tells me he thinks he's going to lose. Listen to this.
Why would they care what happens in a Republican primary in Kentucky, of all places?
It's to silence me. It's so that I shut up. Look, if I lose on May 19th, I'll be out of Congress on January 3rd of next year.
It'll be glorious.
And nobody's going to follow my Twitter. Nobody's going to go to my Facebook page to see what's going on. I won't be invited down into the secret skiffs to read the secret interpretations of the laws that the executive branch is using to spy on you. I'll be gone. The one whistleblower, if you will, in Congress will be gone. And let me tell you who's on the other side of this, who's funding me. I've got, and this is miraculous. I think, you called it a referendum. I think it may be a movement within the MAGA movement is what we're seeing, because I've got over 33,000 donors, and the average donation is less than $94. These people, they don't have a lot of money to give, but they can't be intimidated, right? By the White House. They can't have their environmental permits pulled on a big data center. The government of Washington, D.C. doesn't have that kind of leverage on individual normal people. So those are the people who are funding me.
Do you hear the hubris on this guy?
Why would they?
I am the only one. I'm the only whistleblower there is. I have created a movement within a movement. This guy, the hubris in this guy is unbelievable. Well, let's talk about the whistleblower, okay? Let's talk for a minute about him because he's talking about whistleblowing Epstein. Well, Thomas Massie, being a House member, came out last October 14th. Here's the receipts. We know at least 20 men implicated in the files. And he goes on to say, survivors have 20 names. I have one when I released it. Some evidence of the files war would need to be uncovered, which the DOJ has yet to undertake. Oh, that's him saying I never had it. My bad. He deleted his tweet. That's what it was. This is where he's, we know at least 20 men are, that's what it was. Okay. I messed that up. On October 4th, this is I never said I had 20. And now he says, we know there's 20 in the files. Okay. So anyways, the point is on the House floor, the Capitol floor, he can go up there. And as a member of the House, he can say anything he wants and nobody can sue him for defamation. This is well known. They are protected because they need to be able to debate. They need to be able to challenge things. They need to be able to pursue justice. They are the elected representatives of the people. They have that right by being elected. He could go at any time and blow it all out of the water, and nobody could sue him. He couldn't be found liable. They've already done this to 3 innocent men who him and Ro Khanna released their names, and it turned out they were just in a lineup and had nothing to do with Epstein at all. Those poor guys. So they did release those names, but all this other stuff he says he had. Now, also, Pam Bondi, Todd Blanche set up the Epstein files with completely unredacted so Congress could visit and read as much as they wanted anytime. I think they got 2 hours a day, but they could return every single day. And you know what they could do with that information? They could pull it and then they could go let it out there. So the reason we know the Trump administration is not hiding anything is because they're not hiding anything, at least from the representatives. They have access to all of it, and they could go release it on the floor. And yet this Thomas Massie, the whistleblower, hasn't done so. Ro Khanna hasn't done so. None of these people have done any of it, despite constantly saying, why don't you release it? Why don't you unredact it? They're not liable for anything. Why won't you release it if you have something, if you know? They absolutely could do it. This has been one of my biggest gripes this entire time. Or when Melania came out a couple weeks ago and said, let all the victims come forward and give their testimony. And the victims, not saying there are no victims, okay? For those of you who haven't been watching my show for a long time, I've done hundreds of hours on Epstein. The current victims that are working with Massie are not the victims. They are the enablers. And I don't have time to go into all of it, but I've done several videos on it. But the point is they all refuse to testify. Why? That should tell you all you need to know. This isn't about justice. It was about trying to take down the Trump administration. And guess what? They failed. And now it's moving on. But Massie has to try to he has to keep making you think, hey, I'm the guy. But again, he just never did it. And here is the original tweet. Today, Speaker Johnson seemed to acknowledge something the FBI director hasn't. It wasn't just Epstein trafficking women, yet he persists in the cover-up. The effort he supports hasn't released a single name, yet we know at least 20 men are implicated in the files. That's the original tweet. And why didn't you bring them up? You blasted, put on blast 3 innocent guys. Why aren't you calling these out? So again, that's Massie. That's the first part. So, but he's the only whistleblower. He's got the movement within the movement. Anyways, here's the next part, where he brings up the Marjorie Taylor Greene story from the other day.
Things he said to me, he said, "You're moving too fast for me." Like he couldn't keep up. There was only one of him, and I was moving around and getting people to put their names on it and getting people not to take their names off. By the way, I have to give credit to the three bravest. There's nobody. If I go back to Congress next week and somebody comes up to me and says, "I saw you on Tucker Carlson and you didn't say I was brave," I'll say, "Too bad, because you weren't." There's three women, Nancy Mace, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Lauren Boebert, who signed their names on that discharge petition and all suffered. Marjorie practically gave up her political career over this.
Yes, she practically. She resigned. She had a full year left. She had no reason she had to leave. None whatsoever. And a true fighter, a believer, would have stuck it out. But Marjorie bailed because she wanted to go make that grifter money, go on The View. Crazy. And they still hold this woman up as if she's a hero. Nancy Mace, there's all kinds of stories about Nancy Mace, who she really is. Boebert is the one who I'm like, interesting. But Boebert has gone full back to MAGA. So maybe Boebert was like swayed in by these people for a little bit and was like, yeah, let's get all this done. And then she realized what they were doing and she backed out. But either way, Nancy Mace is not somebody you can trust. And we all know Marjorie, gorilla phrase. She's a total fraud.
Did. She and her children got death threats.
Oh, I know.
Over this.
Here it is.
Not from the left.
Repeating it again.
From the right.
Not from the left, but from the right. That's the psyop we were showing yesterday. The whole, it's time to join with the left. It's Candace, Ian Carroll, Nick Fuentes, all of them. There it is again. Do you guys see how they all talk to each other? They're all saying the same talking points. He's about to repeat exactly what Marjorie said the other day.
She went to President Trump and said, one of my children is getting death threats. And he said, "That's your fault."
Yeah.
Thanks, Tucker. Thanks for reminding us of the story Marjorie's telling. That's obviously a lie because, as she said, "Well, I have the text, but I can't show them. I don't want to get arrested. They'll arrest me for it." Okay. Sure, Marjorie.
He also told her that if she insisted on following through with this, she was going to hurt his friends.
That's been Massie's line for a while now. It's all about his friends. Well, Massie, who obviously believes President Trump is one of the worst people alive, and is just a horrible, horrible person and president. Well, he sure didn't have trouble cozying up to Trump the other day when he noticed he's about to lose his primary. This is from 6 days ago.
So there's no sense in trying to avoid it. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room. I agree with President Trump a whole lot more than I disagree with him.
Oh, do
the
you?
list is long. The Save America Act to require proof of citizenship to vote, stopping immigrant welfare, fighting the woke agenda, defending the Second Amendment, protecting the life of the unborn, securing the border. I'm Thomas Massie, and I approve.
Wow, President Trump sure sounds great, huh, Massie? That sounds like a pretty awesome president. That sounds like a pretty pro-American president. Yeah. But you just went on a show that says, are pro-American politics allowed in Donald Trump's party? Well, I don't know, Thomas. What do you think? That's Donald Trump, the elephant with the Make America Great Again hat on, MAGA hat, that you just said you love. You agree with him on all this stuff. Wow. Cozy on up to him and then go on Tucker and trash him. That's interesting stuff. That's interesting. I don't know. What a total fraud. Unbelievable. All right, here's another fun part. This is him talking about his primary right now and how they're working to get him out.
What is the current polling in your race?
It's a single point lead for me. It's not very fluid. They've spent $10 million against me. And when I say they, I hope we get into they.
Yes.
and it's going to be close. It's just going to be the result is going to be based on who turns out.
So it was 81% margin, 76, 75, like full on blowouts in the Republican primary in your district in Kentucky. And now it's within a couple of points and you could lose.
Correct.
And the difference is they have spent $10 million against you. So I don't think anyone would dispute that. That's the difference. The money poured into this race from outside of Kentucky is basically pushing you to the point of almost losing, and you may lose. Where'd that money come from?
You guys see that? They're seeding the loss. They're already making the excuses for the loss. This tells me Massie's seen some really bad polls in his district. He's scared. He's really scared.
Well, it didn't come from regular people. It's come from billionaires, and 95% of it, at least 95%, has come from the Israeli lobby.
Oh, wow, really? Whoa, no, we're doing this again. Okay. Of course it's Israel. Oh, who could have guessed? Who could have guessed we're going there? It has to be Israel. Israel's the one funding my loss. Hey, America First crowd, if I lose, it's because of Israel. It's because of Israel. Didn't see that one coming. Is anybody surprised? Who's surprised? Are you guys surprised? I am surprised. I'm very surprised. Oh, my God. Who still thinks you know what? I'm going to post this video and I'm going to get all kinds of comments of people being like, Thomas Massie is legit. Thomas Massie's the real deal. You could never prove he's a grifter. You don't have any receipts. You know, you can't help retarded people. You just can't. You just can't. There's this stuck.
So I'll give you their proxies. The RJC, which is the Republican Jewish Coalition, AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, Miriam Adelson, Paul Singer, and John Paulson went together. They funded a PAC called MAGA Kentucky, which is neither MAGA nor Kentucky. But when
Did any of them live? Who are those three people?
They have been, Miriam Adelson is the gambling magnate who's ironically makes money from the Chinese now gambling and not in Las Vegas.
And she's literally an Israeli.
Yeah, she was born there.
Yep.
She's given over $200 million to the president. He puts her on the stage. He says that she's influenced his own policy and attitudes toward Israel. And so she's trying to buy a congressional seat in Kentucky, along with the rest of these groups that are probably, by the way, getting her money as well. And there's also another interesting faction called Christians United for Israel. They're really just another wing of AIPAC and RJC that's been used to co-opt Christians into support.
Oh, so the Christians who support Israel, who are funding Galrain, just are co-opted by Israel to fund it because they can't think for themselves that they support Israel. I grew up Christian. I grew up in the evangelical church in America, guys. I can tell you, these people very much love Israel in ways that honestly are unhealthy, but it doesn't matter. They really mean it. They really mean it. They are not co-opted by anybody, but it's got to be the Jews, right? It's got to be the Jews.
Supporting their position. And their position is more war. It's more strife. It's more bombs. It's send more foreign aid. And those are the things that I've been voting against.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right. Well, Massie, since he's your opponent is so clearly funded by Israel and the Jews, and they're trying to knock you out, we should look at some of like who you're being funded by, because you're being so you're just such a good guy and you're so honest, and it's only small dollar donations and little grandmas who are funding you with their $90. So, but let's just double check and make sure, because we do our due diligence here. How about the fact that you're getting funded by a Jewish donor, Jeff Yass? Wait, what? Massie's top Jewish donor, based on claims across sources, campaign finance analysis, public accusations, Jeff Yass, billionaire investor and co-founder of Susquehanna. Yass is Jewish and has been described as multiple contexts as pro-Israel or Zionist donor. Massie's campaign has received significant support through groups like the Club for Growth, with Yass funded heavily, and super PACs such as Project American Freedom or Kentucky First, also backed by Yes. Oh, well, that's not enough. I guess we didn't get it directly from him. Well, how about 79% of his contributions come from Democrats, Muslims, and Code Pink. Well, let's look a little closer at that. 4 to 5% of your donors are in Kentucky, 25% California, 13% Texas, 12% from Florida. Here's the individual donors list for Thomas Massie. His top individual donor is Maruk. And here's some of the donations. Well, we see a couple 7,000s there. I thought it was only Israel could count to 7,000 when they're helping out grifters. But I don't know a lot of Jews named Maruk. I could think of Iranians, Qataris, Akhtar. Oh, look, there's a good English name right there. How about that? A couple of them. Wow. Well, that's interesting. I thought it was an average of $94 there, Tomas. But here's some more. Middle Eastern Islamic donors. There's Maruk again. There he is. Oh, we got Maruk. We got who else is Maruk funding? Well, let's see here. Oh my God, Corey Bush, that's a squad member. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Let's just keep looking. Oh, Roe for Congress, Ro Khanna. That's about as crazy as it gets. Oh my God, Jamal Bowman and Ilhan Omar. These guys are funding the squad, and they're funding Thomas Massie. Oh my God, at least they're not Jews. At least they're not Jews, huh, Tucker? Because we wouldn't want the Jews funding anybody. We really wouldn't. But we should just look a little bit. Well, let's look a little bit more. Thomas, the Order of Demolay, Massie's top individual donor, Sam Maruk, Palestinian refugee from Texas. And while he's donated the most amount, he's doing pretty good for a refugee, I gotta say. He's also donated to Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Jamal Bowman, Corey Bush, Jamal Pryapal. Oh, the one who had just committed treason. Yeah. Oh, look at that. That is the squad right there, my friends. That is legitimately the squad. The only one missing is AOC. That is the super left-wing squad. Oh, he's the DNC. Hillary for America. Yeah, got to get that in there. Ro Khanna, MTG, and Graham Plattner. So Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie, the America First true believers, are funded by the exact same people funding the far left in America. Oh, God, you never have receipts. Oh, my God, what are you doing? Let's look a little bit more, shall we? Paul Graham, influential venture capitalist from California, another out-of-state donor who donates nearly exclusively to Democrats, including $500,000 to SMP, prominent Democratic super PAC, aligned with Chuck Schumer. $350,000 to Swing Left, progressive political group with hybrid PAC status in the U.S., created following the election of Donald Trump in 2016 with a goal of gaining Democratic majority in United States legislatures. George Soros also donates to Swing Left. $300,000 to the Hillary Victory Fund and Barack Hussein Obama. That's who's funding MTG and Massie, their friends. But no, I just get the little old ladies. They can only afford $70. And my opponent is funded by the Jews. Those Jews are so bad. They're in Tucker. Oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Absolutely insane. Why does Massie have so many donors from Muslim people? I'd like to know. Act Blue accounts in 7,000 increments. His followers always said Jewish conspiracy. Oh my God. This is Tucker. What do you think about this? I don't know. This is wild. Okay, so I'm sorry, but Thomas, I'm just gonna have to go ahead and say I don't trust you. I cannot wait for this man to be gone, and that's why he's on here in trying to save his primary, but in just 1 week, my friends, he went from cozying up to Trump with his MAGA commercial to going on Tucker to absolutely bash Trump, tear him down. And what I think this is he knows he's losing. He's going to fall apart. It's going to be bad. And this was the prepare everybody for it. So we have somebody to blame. And it's got to be the Jews. You got to blame the Jews. And by the way, Tucker didn't have the best day either. And so he's in prison for add to this that Tucker himself had somebody dug up an old recording of Tucker. Well, it turns out Tucker, between 2006 and 2011, used to call Bubba the Love Sponge his shock jock radio show, and all kinds of vulgar things like downplaying Warren Jeffs, top 10 most wanted for pedophilia and child marriages, the Mormon guy with multiple wives, and just said some terrible things. Let's listen to Tucker in the past a little bit here for a second.
No, he's in prison for facilitation of child rape.
Whatever the hell that means.
That means
he's in prison because he's weird and unpopular, and he has a different lifestyle that other people find creepy.
No, he's an accessory to the rape of children. That is a felony, and a serious one at that.
What do you mean an accessory? He's like got some weird religious cult where he thinks it's okay to, marry underage girls, but he didn't do it. Why wouldn't the guy who actually did it, who had sex with an underage girl, he should be the one who's doing life? The rapist in this case has made a lifelong commitment to live and take care of the person. So it is a little different. I mean, let's be honest about it. He's not accused of touching anybody. He is accused of facilitating a marriage between a 16-year-old girl and a 27-year-old man. That's the accusation. That's what they're calling felony rape.
But in our state,
that's bullshit. I'm sorry. Now, this guy may be a total creep, maybe a child rapist. I'm just telling you that arranging a marriage between a 16-year-old and a 27-year-old is not the same as pulling a stranger off the street and raping her. That's bullshit.
But you know what? In my brief experience, what gets women going is
not a good look.
Arguing with them.
Really?
Yeah.
Brad, I never use that.
It's true. You debate politics with a woman and just go, just full blown out there, especially feminism. If you're talking to a feminist and she's giving you, men really need to be more sensitive, and this, actually, men don't need to be more sensitive. You just need to be quiet and kind of do what you're told.
And lighten up a little bit, bitch.
They love it.
Alexis Stewart, we run into her all the time.
She seems
Cunt.
awful.
Yeah, she is awful.
They're very cunty.
She seems extremely
I like
cunty.
to hear that word out of
classy. Classy stuff.
She seems what? Now go ahead.
She just does seem a little cunty. Yeah, I mean, you said it. I'm just agreeing with you. I don't use that word because it's
right. I'd love for Tucker Carlson tonight on MSNBC. A girl that comes across kind of cunty.
Well, she does. I mean, I heard her. Now I'm a Brent fan, so okay, I'm stating my bias right out front here. But I heard her on with him, and I just wanted to give her the spanking she so desperately
actually
needs.
want.
Oh my!
When she's laying her head in your bed at night, you know who the hell's in her bedroom and what they're doing. Nobody, just her. Well, when she's in a dormitory-type setting and these little girls start experimenting around, next thing you know, you got a lesbian on your hands.
I don't think that's likely.
Next thing you know, Brad, what's going on in the Combe dormitory? Nothing. I don't got a PSP to play. I ain't got nothing going on. I ain't got my mom and dad here to tell me that they love me and tuck me in bed. So here's
rough.
Trixie, and she wants to explore my body a little bit. So, hey, let's go crazy. Wow.
That if it weren't my daughter,
That's one theory.
Well, I mean.
Whoa. Okay, Tucker. I don't think we're going to be trusting you much anymore. That's pretty crazy stuff. That's pretty wild. So, I don't know, guys. What do you think? Tucker, Massie, trustworthy people, huh? These are the kind of people we want running the grift. I have a feeling that they've gone too far, and it's time to take them down. So, yeah. It's crazy things. But listen, why do I do these segments? I have people who are like, why do you bring them up? Why do you give them attention? I'm not giving these people attention. I'm exposing them, and it needs to be done. Somebody's got to do it. And there's plenty of people on X doing it. I don't know how many people are doing it on YouTube or stuff, but I see this, and listen, these people are trying to ruin our movement. These people are trying to take down our president, and it just needs to be known that we can't trust anything that comes out of these men's mouths. They are liars. They're frauds, and we've got them caught. We've got them dead to rights. We have the receipts, and at this point, it's just getting embarrassing. So, all right. Hope you guys take a minute to take a like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching tonight and being a part of the community. That was wild too. I see a lot of people shocked over that. I know I was shocked when I saw it today. I debated even playing it, but I thought, sometimes we got to put this stuff out there. We got to show what's out there. I did want to show you guys a couple quick things before we end tonight. Just some good news. Look at this. NVIDIA is partnering with Corning to develop 3 new advanced manufacturing facilities for optical tech and here in the U.S. So that's awesome. We're going to get NVIDIA doing stuff here, 3,000 plus jobs. So Trump's manufacturing push is working. New homes we're down 5% last month. So housing affordability is starting to work out. Adjusted for inflation, the home price fell 6% to the lowest since 2014. So that's great for people looking to get into housing. And finally, look at this. This is very interesting. Bernie Moreno, the new senator from, I believe it's Ohio, great guy, says on July 4th, we'll celebrate the 250th anniversary of America's revolution. It'll also be the beginning of America's financial revolution. Whoa. That's interesting. That is very interesting because there's a lot of people who are believing a lot of fantastical stuff for the economy going forward and our financial structure. Kevin Warsh will be in at that time. So anyways, to see a senator say that, that's quite the tease. Anyways, all right, guys. Well, that's going to be the show tonight, but I do want to just get in the chat, see if I missed anything. Appreciate you guys. Oh, there was a couple super chats, so let me get to these. MSS Sponsky with the $10 super chat. No comment or question, but thank you so much for supporting the show. Fenderman says, chipping in for the cause with a $5 super chat. I really appreciate that, Fenderman. Thank you. And also another $10 one from Fenderman as well. He says, Massie's parading around fake Epstein witnesses that would not testify under oath to try and smear Trump. 100% right. And you call it, man. Thank you. Thank you for supporting the show. You guys are very generous. And then we got Do number 2 with a $2 donation says, Trump is the Antichrist until you need reelecting. Perfectly said. Well said. Thank you so much for the donation and support of the channel. You guys are the best. So listen, I'll be back tomorrow night. We'll do it all over again. Hopefully we get some good news on Iran. I think some good stuff's coming. But listen, you guys are awesome. And you guys, I'm seeing all these very nice comments. You guys are the best. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. But yeah, please hit the like and subscribe before you guys leave. We'll end in a prayer as always. But let me. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything, so I'm going through the chat a little bit real quick. Okay, guys. Let's see here. Looks like you guys are mostly just talking to each other, and that's fine. That's great. I'm glad everybody's getting along. Listen, if you guys want more and you want to be a part of the community, if you really like the people in the chat and how this conversations go, we have great conversations as well in the Discord. And I highly recommend anybody who likes this show. I think you'd love the Discord, especially if you're big on the chat. And the way to get there is to go to the Patreon link in the description below. Click that link. Go to the Patreon. Get a free month. That's my gift to you, a free month. You get plenty of time that way to try it out, see how you feel about the community, and decide if you want to support the channel going forward. You'll get access to all the members' lives as well. And yeah, so that's my gift to you is a month. So please check it out. Get in the Discord, and we have great chats all day long. So you guys are the best. Let's you guys are so nice. Thank you. You guys are awesome. What time is it here? Holy cow, it's late. I'm really looking forward to next week and being able to change stuff and get some rest. But in the meantime, appreciate you guys showing up tonight, even though I was a little late. So, Heavenly Father, let's end in a prayer tonight, guys. So, Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God bless all these people, Lord, watching this and just being a part of this community. Thank you for them, and I definitely appreciate them, even even showing up to hear me rant and rave on stuff. So I thank you for them, Lord, and bless them in Jesus' name. I just pray a blessing over them. Father, we pray a blessing over President Trump, that you would bless, Lord, his health and protect him, give him wisdom and boldness in everything he continues to do, as well as everybody else up there fighting for the country to turn it around. And bless our country, Lord. We thank you for the miracle of getting another chance with this country. I just pray, Lord, we see it through better than ever. And I pray, God, that we continue to see exposure of the corrupt, of the liars, the propagandists, all of them, Lord, that you just keep shining a light on things that used to be in dark places, so that we can make better decisions with truth. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, God bless you guys. Love you. I'm going to go try to get some sleep. So you guys have a blessed night, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Good night.
Headlines screaming like a siren at night. Red and blue shouting, nobody's right. Smoke in the streets, truth under attack. Everybody's loud, nobody's got facts. Feeds keep scrolling, nerves stay tight. Matchsticks flicked in the dead of night. They sell fear, cheap package the lies, while the clock keeps ticking, empires on fire. Can't sit quiet while the world's on edge. Lines in the sand, standing on the ledge. No script, no leash, no polish, quiet. Just a voice in the dark and a spark to the wire. This is